What's up, Rob here with another video unboxing, sort of review, sort of first thoughts. And if you've seen the thumbnail, you already know what it is. It's the Aventon, the newest bike from Aventon, the Aventure. Yes, that's what it is. Cool bike. And right off the bat, you know, I did a bunch of research, and I was lucky enough to get a Aventon Aventure bike. It's a tongue twister, like everybody says. Anyways, I got the small frame. That's what's cool with this bike. They make it in three different size frames. They make it in a small, medium, and a large. Small, 5'1" to 5'9". I happen to be about 5'5", so I'm right in the middle of that. I used to be 5'7". I don't know what happened. Fatness and gravity and old age has shrunken me. But it's cool because my wife can ride this bike too. She sat on it, can have her feet nice on the ground. And you know, that's important to have confidence, have your feet on the ground, especially if you're new to e-bikes. You're new to that power, you know. You're in traffic, you gotta stop, and it's nice to be able to put your feet on the ground. The medium frame or regular frame fits a 5'7" to a 5'11" person, and the large fits 5'11" to 6'4". So there you go, there you have it. The sizes on the frame. It's a cool bike, a very, very cool bike. I got, let's see, I was gonna pull up the specs real quick here, if it'll let me. Let's see, where's it at? Okay, here we go. It does have a 750 watt Bafang motor in the back hub motor, and it is, I think it's 1130. Let me double check that. It's 1130 peak watts, and sustained 750, 48 volt brushless rear hub Bafang motor. And everybody knows, you know, the Bafang motor is a good motor. It has 5 levels of pedal assist. Speed normally, you know, just like all the other bikes, class 2 bikes, up to 20 miles an hour. You can unlock it with the app, and you can go 28, maybe 30. I've been about 25, 26 miles an hour on mine. But then again, I'm a big boy. I'm short and stout, like a little teapot. Not really a big boy, just big, heavy-wise. The frame is a 6061 single-butted aluminum alloy with an internal battery that fits inside the frame, so it's nice and sleek looking. It does have front suspension forks with 80 millimeters of travel, with lockout. Cassette, 8-speed cassette, Shimano cassette back there. Tubes, bottle rubber Schrader valves. I probably will upgrade mine to whatever those internal, you know, puncture-proof shields. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I'm talking about? If not, look it up. Grips, ergonomic comfort grips. They're nice rubber grips that have locks on them, so they don't spin around. I've got a bunch of bikes out in the garage, and a bunch of the grips spin around after use, and man, when you're riding, that sucks. Got a really nice regular mountain bike out there. My friend rode it the other day. By the time she got back, we rode about 8 miles or so, or maybe 5 miles that day. Got back, and the grips were like this far, just spongy on the end of the bar. They, you know, she kept going, the damn grips would have came off. Hey, this has nice locking grips. Tires are 26x4 Kenda e-bike rated tires. Yeah, what else? Spokes, 12 gauge black stainless steel. It's got a nice beefy kickstand on it. The maximum payload capacity is 400 pounds. I don't weigh 400 pounds, thank God, but I do weigh about 3. So I can put me and 100 pounds of steak on the cargo basket. Maybe not, maybe just me. I'm surprised with with my weight though, that this bike has as much get up and go as it does. You know, the whole like getting into e-bikes, I was like, no. You know, I'm a heavyweight fat boy. It's not gonna push me that good, you know. Yeah, right. Let's just say I was in the trails today and I about had code brown a few times. I was going so fast. And I'll show some riding and I'll talk more about what I think of the bike and everything like that, how it handled, and my experience riding it on the street, on some paved, gravel, flat trails, grassy trails, and then today in some very rooty, roots everywhere trails. Lots of roots, big and small. They weren't holding back on the roots in this place. And tight trails, open trails, sandy trails, gravelly, little grassy, and then there was some mud. Lots of mud in a few places. And my big thing is I gotta just trust the bike, you know? Just gotta trust the bike. The bike will lead you to, as long as you steer it properly and don't, you know, Sonny Bono a tree. Sorry, Sonny, but it's the truth, man. Dude whacked a tree and died. You don't want to do that on a mountain bike. As long as you steer the bike right, you know, those big mud pits were freaking me out at first, and I just got to where I'm just like, all right, just hit it and just trust the bike, and phew, right through it. Slicker Neil's not, so they say. All right, let's throw this thing together and go. All right, we got a package today from Aventon. I don't know how to say it. Let's open her up. Inside the box look of what I'm looking at. Everything is packed nice and neat and tidy. Over here is going to be what I'm guessing is, I don't know, tools and accessory stuffs. Alrighty, I'm going to need two hands, so I got to put you back on pole position over here. Alright, so putting the bike together, you know, is not really a big deal at all. You basically, it comes pretty much assembled. What you got to do is put the front wheel on, put the handlebars on, put the pedals on, and a front fender. Only thing that gave me a problem was the front fender. There's a little bolt that you got to take out that, you know, holds the fender to the fork, and that thing was super tight. And I had to use my own Allen tool, my own Allen wrench to get that little bolt out, because man, it was tight. But other than that, you know, I just didn't want to strip the head of it or anything. So other than that, it went together pretty easy. And this is a bike, you know, I was out on a few little grassy trails and stuff around the house. There's a golf course right up the street from where I live, so I ride those trails a lot in the morning and stuff just to get out. And this is the sidewalk coming down next to SR16. This is where I live, right off of here in St. Augustine. But yeah, I mean, the bike handles great. It on the city streets and roads and sidewalks, bike paths, all that. I mean, it's just a smooth ride, and the bike hauls butt. I mean, it moves. I have unlocked it, so it's now technically, I guess, a Class 3 e-bike. But you know, again, I'll say again, as far as rider weight, you know, it's all gonna vary how far you're gonna go. You know, the bike's gonna react different to everybody as far as weight goes and everything. But like I said, I'm no lightweight dude. I'm like 300 pounds. I'm working on it. That's one of the reasons I got this bike, was to you know, start trying to lose some weight and get healthy. And you know, I initially thought, what's the purpose of an e-bike? You know, I'm not going to be pedaling. Well, I'm totally changed my mind on that, because you can pedal as much as you want, and it's a heavy bike. So, you know, I try to keep it in like pedal assist 1 or 2 a lot of the times, and you know, you can get as much exercise as you want, and if you wear out, you know, you can use the throttle, and so I kind of use a little both, and I have pedaled the bike with just no pedal assist whatsoever, you know, and it's a heavy bike, so you can get as much workout as you want. So these are one of the trails I was talking about, and when I was at the beginning of the video, going on these trails. These are a little rougher, and there was a lot of roots. Roots everywhere, you know, roots, mud. There were other people out here hiking. I met a guy right when I came in the park. He's just come out. Yeah, here's some of the mud I was talking about. It's just starting, and see, I'm sliding back and forth, you know. This stuff was, when I say slicker than eel snot, yeah, dude, it was slip and slide coming through some of this stuff. And here's where he realized he had, yeah. Watch this one. It's, slip into that rut, wham. It was like 1.5 feet deep. And listen to the brakes coming out of this. Oh yeah, lots of mud and sand in my brakes. Probably not good for them. But what are you going to do when you're out here? So the thing I learned with this bike is, you know, I wouldn't have made it through. I mean, I know there's people that could ride a regular mountain bike and make it through that kind of mud and everything. My fat ass, no, wouldn't be happening. I'd have been bogged out, spinning the tires, and probably fell over. And just at that point would have wallered in it like a pig. But with this e-bike, you know, it's got the power, it's got the juice to help get you through that. And the thing I learned is you got to trust the bike and just let the bike do the work, you know. If you're going in mud like that and stuff, as long as you don't freak out and, you know, steer it wrong, if you just hold the line and trust the bike, it'll get you through it. 9 times out of 10 at least. I didn't flip, you know, I didn't crash, I didn't do anything, luckily. Being my first time out in the trails like this on an e-bike. And, you know, granted, it's Florida, you know, they're for the most part pretty flat. There's a couple little downhill sections, up little climbs, but, you know, compared to real mountain bike trails, you know, up north or out west, I mean, this is like, you know, pancakes and daisies. But hey, for me, big old fat kid, I'm gonna be 59 next month, and I'm working on my weight, but you know, I'm a heavyweight, so I thought the bike handled exceptionally well, because I really beat the crap out of it and myself at in these trails. I did about 10 miles in here, doing a few different trails, a few different loops, and you know, it was fun. I mean, like I say, the bike handled awesomely, and you know, again, some of the specs on the bike, it has a 750 watt Bafang motor, 1130 watts peak. It goes up to 20 miles an hour, and it can be adjusted with the app to go 28 or maybe a little more with pedal assist. Has 5 levels of pedal assist. It does have front fork suspension with 80 millimeters of travel, which works awesomely, I gotta say. I mean, if you see like these roots coming, and you know, you just come out of the saddle a little bit, or you know, anticipate it, kind of pull up on the bar a little bit, I mean, it'll coast right over them. And then the back tire hitting them, you know, some of them, it was a bit of a jolt, but being the big fat tires, it cushions a lot of that. You got 8 gears, and you know, riding in here, I probably kept it in anywhere between second. I use first gear sometimes, but and it kind of kept it between second and fifth gear. I mean, there was points in here where I was doing 16, 18, almost 20 miles an hour. And in these trails, I mean, it's 20 miles an hour is hauling butt for me in some of these trails, because you don't know what's coming around, you know, the next corner. There could be people back in there, you know, a deer out in the middle, a big root right around the corner, a big mud pit like this right around the corner. So yeah, I mean, I would say on average I was probably cruising 10, 12 miles an hour, which is, you know, cutting kind of a clip through here, especially when you're hitting crap like this that is just slick, slimy, funky mud. You hit that in a turn, man, you're gonna go down. But you can see chunks of mud flying everywhere. My bike looked like a complete pig pen when I got done. But back to some of the specs on the bike. It weighs about 73 pounds. And when you're riding it through here, I mean, there's times where you can feel the weight. You know, it's not as nimble. You can't throw it around like you can a regular mountain bike that weighs, you know, 15, 20 pounds. But for how heavy it is, it's actually really nimble and easy to maneuver. You don't really, you know, once you get used to it, you don't really notice that it's a, you know, almost a 75-pound bike. Its maximum payload is, says it's 400 pounds. So, I don't know, you know. I hope I'm not putting 400 pounds on the bike, but I'm putting a good majority of it with just my body weight. Crankset's 170 millimeter with a 46 tooth sprocket. I have seen some people have shortened the crankset a little bit because the pedals they are pretty low, so when you're taking corners, especially if there's roots and whatnot, you gotta, you know, just like on a regular mountain bike, you gotta be pedal aware when you're turning so your pedals don't hit the ground. I mean, that's nothing new with an e-bike. That's with all bikes, so that's something to keep in mind. Has a regular seat post, doesn't have a suspension post. I may upgrade to one of those. And the handlebars are 31.8 millimeter handlebars. Nice, comfortable spread on the handlebars. The tires again are 26 by 4 inch Kenda e-bike rated tires. Nice, beefy, got knobbies on them. There's not a ton of road noise when you're riding, you know, on hard road or whatever. It does have hydraulic disc brakes, 180 millimeter rotors. Again, it's 8-speed, comes with a heavy-duty kickstand, alloy platform pedals, which I may upgrade those eventually, you know, especially when they got wet. They were a little bit slippery, even though they do have little pegs on them. So I may upgrade the pedals at some point, but they're perfectly fine the way they are right now. It does have a cadence sensor and a speed sensor, which is kind of nice. Range, they say it's 45-mile range. That's with pedaling, with pedal assist. Probably, you know, 1 or 2. I don't know. I haven't tested the range yet. That's something else I'm going to do soon. But like I say, I did a good 10 miles in here today, and that included being in the mud and putting the bike under some strain, you know. And I still had tons of battery left, and it didn't really put that big a dent in the battery whatsoever. So, and speaking of the battery, it does come with a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery, and the charger is a 48 volt, 3 amp fast charge charger. It says 4 to 5 hours charging, which is, yeah, about right. So, yeah, I mean, overall, the way the bike handled for me, I was really pleased with the way it handled. Yep, see some people back in here. So if you're hauling butt around here, you got to be kind of careful when you're doing, you know, 16, 18 miles an hour. it's like, whoa, people, gotta be on the lookout. So here I'm heading out of the park, back on more of a hard pan road, where you can kind of let it rip. Again, more people, so you can let it rip, but you got to be careful, because you don't want to run into anybody. You got to be considerate of other people on the path or on the trails. You know, I don't want to be that guy that, you know, gets e-bikes banned from the park or whatever. So you know, gotta have respect for everything, everybody. Can't we all just get along? But I met an older guy when I got here to the park, and he was just coming out, and he had done quite a few miles through the park. He took the longest route possible, and yeah, he was, I'm gonna be 59. He had a good 10, 14 years on me, and he was cool to talk to. We were talking e-bikes, and it's just a cool community. I've met several people already that have e-bikes, and you know, they're all stoked with them, and puts a smile on your face, and you're able to cruise a lot further than you would on a normal regular bike. And if you got uphill climbs or anything like that, that pedal assist works wonders. So I don't know. I would highly suggest getting an e-bike if you're thinking about it at all. I don't know. The Aventure, in my opinion, is a pretty stout, sturdy bike, and it's been a fun one. It's well put together. The thing looks awesome. It's great to ride. Feels good. And like I say, again, if you're a heavyweight and you know, you're thinking about a bike and you're thinking, oh, it's not really going to work for me, trust me. Like I say, I'm hitting 300 pounds, and I mean, you can see in the video here, I mean, since there's no problem with pushing me along. So I watched a video earlier that had people that were even heavier than me riding e-bikes for the first time, and they were stoked and surprised at how good they worked, you know, at moving them. So there you go. There you have it. A little bit of riding. I'm going to be doing a lot more videos with this and other e-bikes, because I'm going to be riding them quite a bit. And hey, I have handlebar mounted cameras and whatnot, so why not, right? Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and let me know what you want to see in future videos. Alright, hit the subscribe button or the like button, and that'll help me out immensely. Alright, appreciate it. Here's a couple of pictures of the bike as well for the ending, the outro, and I will talk and catch you guys later.